Okay, I think it's all coming together. Please. Okay, we got internet. We're so back. Let's move this thing over here. The dream of being able to read all the chats at once and not ignore people is alive, which I appreciate very much. Now let's go to the rules. Let's go understand the rules of today's engagement. We have 10 decks. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the order for us early. I need to scoot this over though. Nope, we gotta scoot that over one more. Okay. Troper, what's up? Sharyusu, Wolfenshade, Harambe. Hello, everybody. Order's going into chat right now. That's what we're gonna be running everything in. I'm extremely quiet on YouTube. Let me check my... It shouldn't be... What the fuck? Yeah, hold on. Did I get my... Alright, I don't know what's going on with my microphone, but I'm extremely quiet just in my OBS, so I am currently cranking the gain 1 percentage point at a time. And slowly but surely, we're gonna get to a audible volume level. Is that any better for people? Is that too loud, or is that just loud enough? Yo, is there any way I could get bumped up? I'm only here for a few hours. Yeah, Gummer, we can move you up if you're gonna have to leave soon. Glove says still quiet. Emperor says much better. Ashes and Leaves says sound good on YouTube mobile. We'll bump a little bit more then. Fuck it. 400% gain. I don't know what's going on with the mic, but that's what we gotta do. So that's what we gotta do. And then we'll bump it. Nope. What the fuck? What the fuck? Alright, I just undid everything. There we go. Alright. Now we should be audible. We should be audible without blowing anybody's earballs out. You got any favorite cards with moons in the art? Boy, do I. Boy, do I have favorite cards with moons in the art, Sharyusu. Let me talk to you about how unpunished the ramp players have been for so long. Let me tell you a story about what I refer to as the incident between me and my girlfriend. The incident came during a casual commander game in which they counterspelled my nature's lore. And you know what? They were right to do it. Not only because it was the second nature's lore of that turn, a little bit because of that, but mostly because the first nature's lore had fetched a triome, and the second nature's lore was on its way to fetch a surveil land so that I could hope to pitch a very expensive creature to reanimate the very next turn. I shouldn't be allowed to do that because I cast a 2-mana ramp spell meant to fix my mana. So Winter's Moon is for haters, and I'm the head of them. Okay? So this one's my favorite. Jacob, what's up, goat? Thank you for coming by the stream. Have I ever played against a Corona deck? No, I've not played against Corona. I've yet to play against Corona. Gummer, we will... Do I have Trapped in the Moon? I don't own a copy. I don't think I've ever resolved the Trapped in the Moon. I do think it's funny. I think I've had it resolved against me, and I did deserve it. I was being a stinky little bastard man, and, you know, I did deserve it. However, fuck them. Who is Cyborg? Blank Dragon, I'm glad you asked. Anytime somebody makes me really mad or really happy, I will, at my discretion, add them to the rules. And Cyborg is somebody who played a deck that was so incredibly stinky that I said, this is ridiculous. You need to change all of this because it doesn't function. And there's no way anybody is going to let you let it function because you have to little bean so hard and in a way that is so obviously duplicitous. And at that moment, multiple members of my Discord brought their receipts of times they had let the deck resolve and how they would let the deck resolve again, even though it is complete bullshit, just because they thought it was so cute. Troper, you might not be on the slide deck, but the slide deck only exists because of you. There we go. Now you're on there. Alright, so we've got the order out. Mini Hoovy, is Acid Rain too petty of an anti-green card? Nah. Honestly, I think we need more of this. I think we need a little bit more, we need a little bit less cyclonic rifting, and we need a little bit more Rivers rebuking. Too many people think it's fucked up or otherwise weird or goofy to blow one person in particular out of the Commander game. But what's weirder to me is locking us out of having somebody actually win the game because you feel like you need to be even-handed. Like, the refusal to play River's Rebuke is, to me, an extension of the mindset that leads people to roll dice when they're trying to decide who to hit, instead of just punching whoever's outfit they like the least. We need to be petty. We need to be petty, and we need to be targeted, because that will move things forward. The world is powered, at least in part, by pure spite, and you need to do your part to keep that spite train going. And in many cases, there is one person in particular who needs to get blown out. Most of the time I've had people resolve a cyclonic rift, it has not been a ha-ha moment. It has been a moment of, well, gosh darn, I really wanted to use this at a better time, but this one person's going to kill all of us if I don't do this. And it would have just been better to have River's Rebuke. Do I think Iona should be unbanned with the single exception that you can only name green? No. No, I don't. Because the green players will ask for something equally terrible in recompense, and I will not give that to them as much as I want it. As much as I want it. The reason I roll dice is it lets me make alliances later. Counterpoint, the way to make alliances later is say, alliance, I stop removing your kidneys. Oh, this is hot. Yeah, this is hot. Unban the Emra Kusi. True. Big if true, and it is true, therefore it is big. So Gummer, we're gonna move you up to first because I don't see Dino Fido, who is, or at least they haven't spoken yet, and they're currently the person set to go first. So for those of you who have not been here before, what I receive from you is a deck list, a power level. The power scaling we used, originally developed by Danny Phantom EXE, is silly to spooky to scary. Then you send me a primer. That's what you think the deck does or what you hope it does. And then you send me the deck's vibe in one word. Well, Psych Ward, thank you so much. I am both happy and incredibly sad I got you into this game. But thank you for coming by the stream. You're about to see a lot of Smasher passing, but on entire decks rather than just cards. So opening it up, we've got Gummer's Spooky Deck. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to cheat the game of Magic the Gathering and prevent your friends from playing? Can't stop the thop. In one word, the deck is thop. And to preface everything else I say, everybody today has opted into, yes, I want to make this deck better. Mike Tyson, we can't make this deck better. Gummer, you played a great game. You played a great game, brother. Let's get everyone else out of the way. There we go. Gummer's just got the win locked up already. We just need to fix all of these columns. Oh, Lord. Okay, Gummer's going here. We're going to make you nice and small so you fit in with Nicolas Cage. Okay, so Leonardo da Vinci. 5 mana until end of turn. You can buff everything so that hopefully at some point the Thopter player lets us all out of the game. For 3 mana, draw, discard. You can make a token copy of the thing you discard, except it's a Thopter artifact creature with flying. I'm sure there's no way for that to be problematic. I'm sure the artifact players can be responsible with this type of power. We have Tezzeret. So more Thopters. Draw a card, but if you have artifacts, draw more cards. Huh, that seems synergistic. Oh, so you're a child. Okay. This is... I understand that there is an argument for it's going to let me win the game with Leonardo da Vinci's hand. This is Dragons Are Cool. At all times, Ancient Silver Dragon is holy shit, Dragons rip. Brain Surge is great. Coastal Piracy is fucking great. I mean, honestly, if you're doing it with 0-2 Thopters, you deserve it. Consecrate. Yeah, man, I've gotten to resolve this card once, and I still have scars from what they did to me after that. So I hope, I hope they're a little nicer to you. MJam100, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the Doghouse. Distant Melody is clever here. So, I mean, Kindred Discovery is... You can only be so clever when you're putting the all of the Kindred staples in. Nexus of Becoming, my commander, but again, and a little bit better. Does this make a... Oh, wow. One with the machine is very fucked up. Somebody's finally playing Palantir of Orthanc. When it comes to talking about just free card draw, I always bring up this card. Because even though it's very difficult to find a theme that it fits in with, it's just so good. And speaking of cards that are so good and completely lack a theme, big opener, the EDH Rex sponsorship logo just flying onto this deck right now. Research Thief, very clever. Rick Dom, have fun at pre-release. I actually need to pull Ristic from this list. Oh, we'll be pulling Ristic from the list. Don't you worry. All right, so first thing I'll raise some issue with. If I do not see a pretty golly gee, golly good, gosh darn sack outlet, I think the Elon Musk Neuralink is a little bit wasted here just because you can't kill your Thopters by equipping. If I see just a fucking ton of ways to sacrifice your Thopters, for sure. Otherwise, this seems like an insurance policy that really quickly gets really expensive, and since we're in blue, we might not need them. There are other Thopter makers. There better be 25. We're talking about non-command zone synergies. I better see 25 of the bitches. What's wrong with my camera? That's what's wrong with my camera. John, do you not like my mouth? Is it not good enough for you to just see my mouth? Is that not... There we go. Like 7? Okay. I'll give you 7. How I stopped getting invited. Motherfuckers need to have their spells countered, alright? I won't apologize for this. Maybe not this many times. Spell swindle. Oh good, yeah. A counterspell tutor. Unsubstantiate's just rude. You paying 2 mana not even to counterspell somebody, just to say, not yet. Little later, please. Slow it down for me. Thopter Spy Network. Map tokens. Oh, Thop. Alright, 11. Okay. Oh, whenever you cast an artifact spell, get a Thop. Jesus. Okay, yeah, you're good on Skull Clamp, you little son of a bitch. You are a fucking mosquito farm. This is just a Floridian swamp. This is not a research study. This is not Leonardo da Vinci's lab. This is 3 miles south of a gator farm with some raw meat hanging off of a tree. That's what this bullshit is. And we got Urza. Just to fucking hate on him. Okay, training grounds. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Artifact spells have Convoke, Thop, Fuel. Alright, so this is the stuff we are presumably drawing and discarding. Oh, Meteor Golems. Absolutely awful with all these copiers you have. Obelisk of Erd, very good. Copiers, Platinum Angel. What if I just hung out for a while, guys? Hey, kick back. Kick back. What if I didn't give a shit about anything you did to me? This camera keeps getting fucked up. What is going on? That's barely better. That's going to have to be good enough. That's going to have to be good enough with that camera, because it keeps moving on its own. Platinum Angel is based. I don't know about that. Depending on who you play with, I might forgive this. I don't know about base, though. Portal to Phyrexia, though, other people don't deserve creatures. Simulacrum Synthesizer is good. Threefold Thunderhulk. Yeah, that's pretty tight. Okay, so most of what... I'll play test it. I know this shit works. This is a truly terrible starting hand. It does not matter because we're monocolor, so we're not going to get land screwed. We do have Soul Ring, which, as it was known. All right. So this is an artifact. So we'll draw. And then we'll discard this guy and we'll make him a Thopter. And then I'll play World Waker for the next thing we do it to. We'll do that. We'll play... I mean, at this point, our best move is to just say, ha ha ha, Ancient Silver Dragon, do something about it. Which I think may underpin the closest thing I have to a problem with this deck. Because we can 20-sided die. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So cool. And then we kind of like... I mean, can we win? We can... We can do this. We can get a medallion out to start cost reducing everything. Also, the 4 best game. Thank you for the gifted sub. Welcome to Dog Heaven, my friend. Okay, we can Sharding Sphinx. We can draw... Everything we discard, though, feels kind of bad. Like, we put this out in the Thopter Gang. We put this out. We have a lot of counter spells. I guess we would have played this first and picked Thopter. And so we would have gotten one more card draw. It doesn't really matter, though. I'm going to give it one more try. I'm going to give it one more try before I say the shit that is on my mind. Because if I speak, I will hurt another blue player's feelings. And that is not nice. Mightstone and Weakstone is probably what we want to Thopt. We do have... We have that. And then draw. I'm still going to dump Mightstone, Weakstone, and then we'll make a Thopter token of it. Draw 2. Okay, Reliquary Tower. Now we're cooking. This guy's already tapped. Pay to Steel Overseer. Next turn we can play Portal to Phyrexia. Get that down. So let me... I think this is a functional blue deck. I am not 100% sold that this is Leonardo da Vinci Thops all over you, or at least not in a way that like really gets the point across. This feels much more to me like mono blue touches cards, and at some point this card touching becomes Thopter related. But like what we wanna, the type of shit I want to see out of a deck like this are those like Portal to Phyrexia turns. I want you to have some shit in this deck that you cannot in any world reasonably resolve unless the game goes super long or you have Leonardo da Vinci. I think this is also, it depends on truly how thoppy you want the toppy to get. If you want to get nasty with it, I would say Intruder Alarm, because when you combine Intruder Alarm with your Leonardo triggers, then you can start to really do some funny stuff. For board bounce, I think Scourge of Fleets is okay. Scourge of Fleets is okay in its effect. It's certainly not on theme. We have some other things that aren't on theme, like Rhystic Study, like Teferi's Ageless Insight, like Consecrated Sphinx, that are just here to draw cards. And I think that when you have card draw on your commander and you're in mono blue, I don't think you have to break from your theme to find card draw. I think you're also you just got to get a little thirsty, bro. Thirst for knowledge would be good for you. You would also probably like, if you were going to break theme, or if you were going to go to the edges of your theme, if you were going to edge a little bit, you should edge with like Treasure Cruise, because you're going to be drawing and discarding. Oh, no. You shouldn't edge with Treasure Cruise because you're exiling the things you discard. So Delve won't work very well for you. But I think the deck would be more fun if you had more things like Obelisk of Erd. Like I think the commander's ability to buff all your Thopters really hard is a decent out, but right now it feels like one of the only ones you have. It feels like either you get that or you get Steel Overseer, and it takes you many turns to get there. Like honestly, I don't think you need Unwinding Clock. Unless you want to do like this is a mono blue combo deck, it just does it with Thopters. I don't think you care about like untapping your artifacts over and over and over. I think you care about untapping Leonardo da Vinci, and I think your untap cheating should come from Intruder Alarm rather than from Unwinding Clock. Like this is just in here as, oh, I'm playing artifacts, so I have to play Unwinding Clock. Like that's your Elon Musk Neuralink activating. To be fair, Unwinding Clock equals Vigilance at some point, and Vigilance is for bitches. What are we talking about, Mini Hoovy? What are we talking about? Why are we being... We don't need to be vigilant if the battlefield is littered with the corpses of our enemies. Forge Master would be very good for you. This would also be another step towards this is going to be a scary deck rather than a spooky deck. So that's kind of up to favorite 4 CMC artifact, go. Do I look like I know how much a banana costs? Is that what I look like? Do I look like oh, Firemine Vessel. Only fair mana rock I've seen in my whole life. We have Palantir of Orthanc already. So let's do blue artifacts, mana value greater than or equal to. Let's just do the massive stuff. Akroma's Memorial is pretty good, but it doesn't actually get you damage, which is kind of funny. This would be incredibly fucked up of you. This would be incredibly normal of you. I think Cityscape Leveler should definitely go in. I think Cyber... Oh my god. You want to hit him with the Thop. This is the Thop master right here. Dragon Cat, yeah, they would be a 0-2, but we're looking to buff them anyway. And so they're... Oh, yeah, I don't know if Blightsteel would work with the replacement effect anyway. It's kind of low on the list for stuff we want to add, so I don't think we need to worry about it too much. Oh, no hint of irony. Graz would be so good for you. All my Thopters are immediately 5/3s. Who cares if they have to attack? Like, this is the type of stuff, like the thing that I think the thing that I dislike about this deck is that it doesn't seem to present hands until it is ready to immediately win the game. And I think that is often a tactical move, and it's a move that I think makes for less interesting games. I can in part see that because you're hiding behind all these fuck-ass counter spells, which is relatively real of you. I would cut Anti-Cognition. This is the worst spell. Is definitely the worst. Oh no. I would say Spell Pierce and Anti-Cognition. This conditional stuff is frankly, against the green players, they just have the money, bro. They just have the money. You can't be like, this is like you're holding up a tip screen as they stab you in the chest with a Bowie knife, and they're just going to hit 15%. They don't care. You're bleeding out anyway. And so I would look for, so this stuff, I would look for board buffs, whether it's blue creatures you control get plus. That's all we need to see. That's all we need to see. I would be with you if you didn't want to do Adaptive Automaton. I generally don't like the like changeling stuff, just making everything work for you. Chief of the Foundry wouldn't be bad. Does it make a blue Thopter? No, so these are probably going to be colorless. So Caged Sun might not work great for you. Door of Destinies wouldn't work great for you. You have Forsaken Monument. I don't think Grand Architect does too well for you. I think Instruments of War could be playable. Oh, honestly, you know what? So this should be your Rhystic study. Like if you're gonna have a thing that doesn't have a goddamn anything to do with playing Thopters, at least make it something that's splashy and fucked up. Like Leonardo built a portal to the fucking endless realities, and it would still at least help your Thopters. I think this is as far as you should stray from the theme of I'm going to give people the Thoppy Toppy as you should get, where it is still at least tangentially related to the things you want to do, instead of just I'm in blue, people told me this was a good blue card, so I made it happen. So overall, I think this is functional. I just don't yet believe that this is. It does not feel. I'm not feeling Thop till they drop. I'm feeling I'm an artifact player, and I want my friends to not return my calls. But a lot of the, wow, this is pretty unlucky. So we'll draw a discard. Fuck that island. We'll draw a discard. So we get Mightstone, Weakstone. So now we have a Thopter. Now we have Training Grounds. So, okay, now mana matters. So we draw. Now it's getting a little hot. So at the beginning of combat on our turn, we draw. So this is a Golem. And then we play like, so this right here, this was a bunch of hot Leonardo da Vinci shit. This was a ton of hot Leonardo da Vinci shit, and it was because we ran into all of these sick artifacts that we were like, yeah, you know what? Let's have this be a Thopter. And then the train kind of stops because Ancient Silver Dragon comes out, and it's so much more important than any of the other bullshit we're doing. We get Ancient Silver Dragon out. Fuck it. I guess also free Scourge of Fleets. And so we have these things that end up taking over the game that aren't related to the Thopters, which makes at least in these playtests, which I realize is a very small sample size, feel like it's just card advantage the commander, which doesn't mean it's bad. This is obviously still functional, and it's obviously you have Ancient Silver Dragon, people let you hit, you're going to fuck them up. But the title and the primer give me such good energy, and then the rest of the deck feels too focused on pure like generic blue player advantage, and not enough on specifically how this guy wants to fuck with you. Transmutation font could also be funny. It could be. This would be, yeah, I mean, if we wanted to talk about like ways to make this deck pretty fucking scary, transmutation font's really good. If we wanted to talk about ways to keep it at kind of this like relatively fair, I'm going to slowly overwhelm you with flyers level, I would do like Leveler, Cybermen, Graz, all these super expensive things that normally only a green player could think about playing, that we're going to be able to play because they actually cost 3 and getting them into our hand. But overall, Gummer, it's a good functional deck, and I love the name. We're going to move on to Aiden's deck, which is spooky, green stompy, detailed header on Moxfield. The deck in one word is bonk. How on earth can a green player give me a detail other than a guttural grunt? Oh, we've looked at this. Oh, hold on. I must have double... because this person made me lose my goddamn mind. Dan, my opinion on Veyron Voice of Duality, they have been done. So if you want to find the commander, you can look for it on YouTube because everything is titled better there. And speaking of YouTube, Crazy Moose, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey Mauled, what would you think of a stacks deck that did so via creatures and actually having a threat rather than pillow forting like a 35-year-old registered copium addict cuddling his teddy? Crazy Moose, I love that. The only thing about it is it's called CEDH. You want to know? You want to know what that type of stacks deck looks like? This is it. This is how you do stacks in that situation. You want to know what else that looks like? This is it. All of the, like most good stacks decks goes into one of two buckets. Either your stacks, but you have a combo that works around the stacks that you've put into place, which is how like Tayam works. Or you say, I'm not letting anybody do anything but swing, and I am so much better at punching than you guys. I'm gonna hit you so motherfucking hard, I swear to God. And I think that's good, but I maintain that it's something that doesn't belong at most tables. I think that if you have if your rule 0 outlaws cards, you don't need a stacks deck at that table because you already have somebody playing a stacks deck and it is rule 0. Rule 0 is just a faceless, voiceless, uninteractable 5th player that is playing a stacks deck. If your Rule 0 has any stipulations about we don't play Rhystic Study, we don't play infinite combos, we don't play Dockside, we don't play Infect. If you have any of those rules, your table probably doesn't need stacks. unless it is one of those like very special sort of middle school tables that says the only thing that's fair is ramping to 10 mana and then casting Eldrazi. That table needs stacks. All the other ones, I think rule 0 is the stacks for you. The call's coming from inside the house. They are smothering you with chloroform. You don't need to do it with your own. But as far as stacks approaches go, yeah, stacks beats, I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of, hey, nice combo, be a shame if somebody oofed it. And also the collector oof is a 20/20 and is going to beat you to death. That would be very sick. Thoughts on Slicer versus the new Alexios? I think new Alexios, since we've already done this roast before we move on, I think, hold on, I need to find, okay, there it is. I think the new Alexios is a much fairer version of Slicer. I think this is still a, hey, does your table know what it means to bring responsible removal? Because if you don't, this game is ending on like turn 5. What I think makes them way more fair is that Slicer decks benefit from all of the artifact ramp, artifact protection, and artifact recursion. Like, I've never seen a Slicer player show up to the table without mulliganing to fucking Welding Jar, which means that even if somebody can remove Slicer, they have a second life. They have a second lease on life. You know what red doesn't have? A lot of creature indestructibility, or a lot of creature recursion. So at least Alexios, you can shoot him in the fucking chest and he slows down a little. I still think it's one of those, like, this is what you bring to the table where people are having a combo off jerk session and you want to interrupt them with a little dose of reality. Shar Yusu also brings up a good point. Another reason this one gets crazy is, depending on what your table wants to do, you can unionize against the Alexios player, because Trample, the controlling player, gets to decide how to distribute the damage. And so what you can do is, if somebody blocks this with a 1/1, you can still assign all 4 damage, all 5 damage, all however many damage to the 1/1 and just overkill them by 8. The default is to assign equal to toughness, send the rest to the person, but you do not have to. And so overall, I think this is a better version of Slicer, still kind of evil. Oleander Hikori has been done. You can find them on YouTube or TikTok. It's probably easier to find on YouTube because you can look by title. All right, so since we've done this Vorinclex deck, which, by the way, frustrating as hell, 29 lands, plays beautifully. It's a piece of shit. We are going to move on to Harambe's spooky deck. I want this to be a Reanimator deck. What should I put in if I don't want to play an expensive mana rock? So if you can't afford real crack, what can we get you instead? Welcome to the family. Have you met the Kingpins? Say hello. Alright, so it's a Rafine deck, 34 lands. This feels like it has to be able to work without super expensive ramp. Right, what are we looking for? Okay, so we want this to be Reanimator. And we are apparently building it from a bulk box. Straight out of a bulk box. Containment Construct is okay. I think this is too precious. I think, much like your childhood dog, you got to learn how to say goodbye. You got to learn how to let people go. Just discard the cards. Oh, tags, right. Clean money. A $13 3-color land base. My god, there's no way this works. 18 basics? You're fucked. You poor simpleton. You're so screwed. Dirty money. Alright, we'll be cutting this. But we can wait. We can wait to cut it. But we will be. Family advisor. Okay, so first and foremost, it looks like we're playing this for the draw 2 cards a turn synergy. And I don't think each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life is good enough. And I think same goes for Keza. I think this is like, we're trying to kill people with 1,000 cuts, and we want to kill them with the Cityscape Leveler that we played for 1 mana. We're talking about, you're working on your jump shot, you need to be working on your Rasengan. Creatures with counters, I'm actually with this. This is the Arby's dumpster pick that I think is clever for this deck because you will have counters because you're conniving. Archfiend of Ifnir, also very down with. I am not down with Psychosis Crawler because I don't think you're ever going to hold that many cards in your hand. I think we want them all into the graveyard. Port of Carfell goes fucking crazy. Reanimate, Animate Dead, Priest of Fell Rites, Stitch Together, Victimized Dread Return, Archpriest of Shadows. Okay, these are all... This part is great. We're definitely going to hit at least one of these, especially when we're conniving. Secret Deals, I'm assuming this is our card draw section. This feels like credit card debt for a Gucci handbag to me. I think the only text on this that matters is I spend 9 mana to put a 1/1 counter on a creature every time I draw a card. And at that point, I think you would rather just drop this immediately. It could just be hentai. That's 9 mana that could just be hentai. We also have Faithful Mending. This is good because you want stuff in your graveyard. Lightning Greaves makes sense. Strategic Planning makes sense. Buried Alive also makes sense. Sure, if I've actually an arena. Ageless Insight, yeah, good as hell. Wonder, good as hell. Relatively fair tutor. Relatively fair. Street Enforcer. I think Storm Tamer is just like... It's really... If the secret is out at your table and they hate you, I get it. This does seem like a trauma response. This seems like you've been bullied one too many times and you're just like, you're pre-wetting your underwear when instead you could play just a good card. I legitimately don't mind Thopteryx. The Street Enforcer section is the beater, so when I cast Rafine on turn 3, I can already connive. Okay. I'll look at it with that in mind. Okay, Ethereal Investigator. Ton of counter spells and 1 board wipe. Kingpins. Alright, so I'm imagining these are all our big reanimation targets. And here's the problem. This is where everything goes wrong. All responsible, right? I disagree with some of the decisions. All responsible. Pretty much all of these are just moderately heavy stacks pieces rather than game-winning threats. If you want this to be a reanimator deck, in my mind what that means is I am digging up a body, I am playing Weekend at Bernie's with it, except it is made entirely out of C4. Like, we should, and you also, honestly, in a commander game, you could just play all of these by having a lot of mana rocks. Commander is 4 turns of hacky sack. You could hit Kingpin level by just replacing every Street Enforcer with a mana rock, and you would play these just as reliably as you are with a reanimation game plan IMO. So I don't think you need more reanimators. I think you are highly responsible on how effectively you're getting things back. I think everything but Sheoldred and maybe Toxrill. I mean, maybe the only ones I agree with are Sheoldred and Elish Norn. I think it's like, this is just like Esper, a couple cards that are pretty good. But Jin-Gitaxias is also, I think Jin-Gitaxias is the rudest way to win if you don't have a combo. This is saying, fuck you, stop playing Magic, only I get to play Magic. What am I going to do with that playing Magic? I'm going to Watcher of the Spheres. That's what I'm going to do. Do I have a suggestion for a good reanimation target? Well, let's look. I think there are some very easy ones, like Cityscape Leveler. Even though you won't get the cast trigger, the attack trigger is very good. Other very good reanimation targets, Eldrazi are an old reliable. But for the most part, we're just going to look through. We're going to go to Esper, and we're going to go to what shit would I never be able to afford without a small loan of $1 million. We're looking at Craterhoof, right? We're looking at Craterhoof, mana, and up. I'll tell you, Ancient Silver would be good. This is the type of, like, when you get this back, motherfuckers are going to be angry. Archfiend of Despair would also be much more, I'm not fully committed to this one. It would be much more threatening to you actually winning the game than all of these. All of these cards say, hey, if you don't do anything about this, you're gonna have a very bad time playing Magic the Gathering, but you're still going to be able to play Magic the Gathering. We want cards that say, hey, I'm going to kill you now. Hey, you're going to die. See if they'll let you play this. Check on this. They have Archon of Cruelty already. I'm honestly not even sold that Archon of Cruelty is threatening enough. Archon of Cruelty is a very fucked up one-on-one card, but because it's target opponent, it's frankly not as crazy as I want it to be. Oh, I could refine my search to just creatures. That's true. So, like, baseline, we want something like Eldrazi Devastator. Even this probably is not quite good enough. We probably don't want that Emrakul. Like, I think Flayer of Loyalties is an okay option just because 10-10 with Annihilator 2, hard to have a bad time with that. And if the game ever does go long enough that you hardcast it, then it has some very, very good value for it. Hoarding Broodlord would also be okay since it would work as a tutor for you. It That Betrays is some absolutely fuck shit. I don't think you need Kozilek because you don't have colorless stuff going on. You could go for Pathraiser. You could go for Razaketh, which would be more tutoring. So it depends on how strong you want this to be and whether or not you want it to be. Oh, hey yo, what the fuck is this? Because you want this thing, right? If you're gonna have a ton of little shitters, you ideally want your reanimation targets to turn the situation into, hey, you're gonna die if you don't deal with me. And so things that will give you some type of banner or things that just hit extremely hard by themselves are what you want to look for. So there's a couple options there. But for the most part, now hear me out. Hear me out, dude. This is also a backup. If for some reason you don't think you're going to get Reanimator through, if you know you're going to be discarding stuff and you know you're going to have a relatively full graveyard, you could fake them out and just hit them with the fucking everything's a 9/9. But I would keep looking through this type of list of, okay, what stuff costs $1 million? Ulamog the Defiler would also work for you because he would enter with 0 counters, but you could connive counters onto him. So you have like $1 million. Really, it's really just so much shit that could make this work. We're going to mulligan because our colors are not fixed at all. We don't have blue, so we're going down to 6 cards. We will make this work. We will dump Wizard class because we don't have 9 mana to pay for this. We'll do that, then that, then that. And we can Rafine. So turn 4, swing, draw. That goes into the graveyard. Nobody worry about that. We're going to pay 1 to get Storm Tamer out to potentially protect our commander. Swing 2. That's going to go in. That's going to go in. 2 more. And then let's just try and victimize. And we'll try and victimize Storm Tamer out for Liesa and Toxrill. This is, I think, as close to the nut draw as we could possibly get. It's as close to the nut draw as we can get. And most of what it does is tax people for existing. And I don't think that is particularly within the spirit of what a reanimator deck wants to do. I think people want to. I think you want to like play something where people go, "Holy fuck, how am I going to deal with that?" Which Toxtrol kind of fits the bill of. I don't think Liesa fits the bill of it particularly well. This is just. Hey, let's hang out a little bit. Wolf Cola, you're not too Pioneer brained. You should also 100% in your Street Enforcer section, I think Ledger Shredder deserves a place. So right now I would say this is a little bit of like behold my stuff, because you have this big Phantom Menace build up into some shit that is frankly not terrifying. Some shit like most of what you're reanimating, I feel like you present a far more aggressive commander damage threat than you do a reanimator threat. You could also do Skittles if you just wanted to. If you wanted to like be about your fucking business and murder people, Skittles is a good reanimation target for that. I think the rest of the deck is good and functional, except for I think Puppeteer, Crawler, and Keza are all. It's just too polite. It's too polite. We're playing too nice. We're playing too. I'm gonna, I'm gonna make you lose one. I'm gonna make you gain one. You need to put a knife into somebody's chest, or a tentacle into somebody's mouth. You know how it goes. We are going to keep moving to Drew Fogg's spooky deck. Higher power exile mill. Create difficult board states for opponents. In one word, the deck is chaos. Let's see how it looks. Umbrus Mill. Oh, combo and graveyard hate Umbrus. Alright. So we need a lot of horrors. But we're exiling off the top till they hit land. We have 5 horrors? Oh, Jesus. Are we blinking Umbrus infinitely? Okay, so we have more mill. We have more mill. We have more mill. If I see a goddamn Thassa's Oracle. You motherfucker. What the hell are we talking about? What the hell are we talking about? Higher power exile mill. However, I refuse to activate my mill strategy, and I will instead demonic consult for my Thassa's Oracle. Ulamog. What do words mean anymore, you guys? Drew, what do words mean? Playing Ulamog is indeed horrifying. Oh, you know what? Exile Mill. My fault, goat. I did not recognize your game. This is Exile Mill. Not fucking this one, though. Just back to back. Conrad the Grim. Sure, you have a damage threat. We have Aristocrats. We have... Okay, we have Big Booty Mill. We have I Like Big Butts, and I Cannot Lie. I presume there's a combo here somewhere. We have I'm playing it above a 7, and so now I'm allowed to have Bowmasters. Same thing. Do we have fucking Dark Depths in here? I swear to God, if I see... No, I can smell it. What the hell is this guy here for? Technomancer Umbris is infinite ETB on Umbris. Oh yeah, let me check tags. Nah, no tags. So +1/+1. Oh, Technomancer Metamorph and Umbris. Okay, so it's part of a. So you have a plus B plus C loop. Why on earth do we have Library of Lang? This is a trauma response. Okay. We have. I think this is. We have a prime example of CEDH brain sickness here. I don't think this is. I don't think this is an Umbris deck. I think this is a list of. I think this is a list of infinite combos, wearing a vaguely Umbris shaped trench coat, and then with a number of almost unplayably bad mill cards meant to back it down from being CEDH. Because in my mind, like, the thing that I don't understand, what I get is I have an Isochron Scepter Infinite. I have the Isochron Scepter. I resolved these 3 cards, you die. I understand at high power, I resolved 3 cards, therefore perish is a totally normal game flow. I can accept that. What's weird to me is it seems like almost all of what's happening in the deck is happening at that level of A plus B plus C equals your balls explode. And then we have one person mills 13. And it seems like you would be better off either committing to this is A plus B plus C the deck, or abandoning those combos in favor of really focusing on Umbris Mill. Because we also have a lot of Bloodchief Ascension is almost certainly here as another aspect of this A plus B plus C equals your nuts explode, because Umbris can't trigger it. So I'm presuming that a bunch of the other mill stuff we have in the deck triggers it. And then we also have Douthie Voidwalker, which is just here as a spite response to other people's Bowmasters. What's Raven Guild Master? Yeah, like it is hard for me to reconcile the idea of I have a mind over matter Library of Lang combo, and also I have a 1/1 that will merely take 27 combats to win the game if he's unblocked. Maybe the playtest feels... We have fucking Wasteland? Sure, I hate Gaia's Cradle too. You're fucking with me. You gotta be fucking with me. What happened to you? How many times did they Ragavan you? How many times did they Ragavan you before you did this shit? Alright, turn 1 Grindstone. Damn, if only I could Vampiric Tutor. Damn. Alright, we are psychically corroding. Okay, so we're probably going to get horrors now. We can Arcane Signet. We can Command Tower. So now we Umbris. And now target opponent exiles forever and ever. They mill. Presumably we hit at least one more horror. Target opponent exiles forever and ever. Lake of the fucking Dead. Tutor. I'll presume you tutor for something and win the game. I believe you. There's that fucking pregame action, baby. Pregame action. X and tap. Target opponent. Oh, put the top card of target opponent's library into their graveyard. Continue doing this until you've put X cards or a creature card into that graveyard, whichever occurs first. If the last card put into the graveyard is a creature card, bury Helm of Obedience and steal that creature. X can't be 0. See, like, okay, you have 2 decks. Mariano, thank you for coming by the stream. This is 2 different decks that I'm staring at right now. Because that... like, this would be incredibly funny in a depowered Umbris deck. In this deck, it is just A plus B win the game. It is just, I am taking advantage of the poor sons of bitches who were templating in the 1990s, and I am going to win the game off of it. And then also we have Mutated Cultist. Presumably, like, mostly because it's a horror. Like, Consuming Aberration is good. One Ring to Rule Them All is not great for you, my goat. And so I think you have too many people playing with experience counters. Okay, so that reinforces my belief, because trauma responses like that, if your Dimir Mill deck, if your Dimir Umbris deck is getting handled by the experience counter deck, the issue is not with the experience counter deck. I think you're trying to do too many things. Like, we have too many A plus B or A plus B plus C combos, and it's preventing anything from shining. And so I would just make, this is $3,000. I would just make a Umbris CEDH deck, and then I would make an Umbris deck that has a true theme or gimmick beyond this is an Umbris deck. Because right now, we've got, this is like it's a word cloud of everything that appears in Umbris, and then also everything that appears on dimircombos.gov. And that leaves you in a place where I can't feel very much personality from this deck, and it kind of feels scattered in the playtesting, which is bad all over. Like, here we've got Force of Will. We got, like, Mana Crypt, Force of Will. We're going to stop other people from going off. It's going to be fucking crazy. What are we going to do? We're going to cast a 1/3. What the fuck are we going to do? We're going to cast part of our A plus B combo. Fucking commander time, bitches. We're going to mill them for 14. So I think you need one deck where Archive Trap is a playable card, and then you need another deck that is doing this like, oh, here's my this is where I'm doing Technomancer plus Phyrexian Metamorph plus Umbris equals I bounce infinitely equals you die. Haha, piss and shit about it. Like, so I think you should break those two out, because this feels like a deck that was meant to be as powerful as possible, and then you held yourself back in certain ways. And I would rather see two different decks, one where you did not hold back at all, and then another where you really held back. And I think you'll just have a better time playing that way. Ulamog's great, though. I don't know what the fuck this guy's... I don't know what the fuck this Ulamog is doing. This Ulamog's great, though. Yeah, we got like Vasha Narada. This dude's just here because he says horror. This is racism. This is clear racism. But we only have 5 horrors, so we're not even being racist to the best of our abilities. If you're going to be racist, double... No. Okay. If you're going to use... He's there to prevent myself from being milled out. Can you elaborate on how Vashta Narada prevents you from being milled out? Oh, the Infinite Gyre. Why would you be milled out? Are there multiple mill players at your table? Is that the world you're living in? Because if so, I apologize. Sometimes. Okay. I'll give you special dispensation for this as a response to the enemy mill player, but I will stand by you have a lot of relatively cute mill cards, and then you have haha, I've resolved both of these and now you cease to exist. And I would make 2 different decks where one is a home for all the cute stuff and one is a home for the combos. For everybody asking to get your deck roasted, it is a Patreon tier redeem. It is the $25 tier. Gets you 1 deck roast a month. I would make it cheaper, but I already spend more time doing this than literally anything else. Which I appreciate very, very much that I am able to do that. I do like this Helm of Obedience shit, though. This is my favorite card in the list. Even though I know it's a, like, Leyline of the Void. Like, I just want to see this get played. I just want to see this get played without it being part of a combo. Oh yeah, Duskmoor? Yeah, like honestly the biggest problem with I'm doing Horror, Kindred, Umbris is horrors don't have too many moves, but Duskmourn should really help you with that. We're going to keep it pushing to Demigod Peanuts Scary Deck, Artifact Creation and Sacrifice Synergy. I'm going to take a screenshot of what they said. This is the theme, gang. This is the theme for the next deck. Let's see what's actually in this monstrosity. So for everybody who's not seen a Scary deck before, Scary is meant to be gloves are off, theme matters less. This is another deck I've done before. Hold on. Yeah, this was done on the 20th. Because I remember seeing Mycosynth Lattice as my real commander, and I remember it being a goddamn lie. I remember it being just Mycosynth Lattice is in the deck, and it very much lacked things that truly went crazy with the Mycosynth Lattice, and perhaps it's been updated, but we have done this one previously. So we are going to continue moving to Emperor Tromidlov Drolmai's spooky/scary deck. The whole point of this deck is to get value off attack triggers both offensively and defensively. The sideboard cards are only there to compare what the deck used to be to what it is now. Deck in one word is aggression. Oh lord, it's Ishin. Alright guys. What's the spread on the Eldrazi? Over, or what's the spread on Annihilator? What do you guys think it is? Over or under 10? Crazy Goalie, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the Doghouse. Also, anybody on TikTok that wants to join us on Twitch, we are streaming there too as well. Easily over. All right, we have 1 vote for under. We're up to 3 votes for over. Originally built in 22, sideboard items were replaced by new group in 2024. Token generators to make tokens, exalted to protect them, Battlecry to finish off, side of every creature type synergy. Battlecry got dumped in favor of token generators, mana rocks, main win cons damage, but we can make 15 tap tokens in a turn for Halo Fountain. It's the only deck I run Smothering Tithe in, and one of only 2 decks I run Teferi's Protection in, solely because I opened the second one in a Strixhaven pack. Also, special shout out to Starlight Spectacular, which just gets insane with Krenko, Tin Street, Kingpin. Even with Scary, I immediately question Smothering Tithe. Better Cathar's Crusade. Tabs, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the Doghouse. 0 Eldrazi. Other good stuff. Alright, Double Strike and Lifelink makes sense. +2/+2, especially with Ishin, makes sense. Midnight Crusader Shuttle is so fucked up. These are already the 3 most interesting Ishin picks I've ever seen. Study Hall makes sense considering how quickly this man's going to get shot in the chest. Pseudo Vigilance. Sure, yeah, Reconnaissance. If we just care about getting the attack triggers. Good boy. Responsible boy. Buff solo attackers. So we out here playing Exalted. Card draw 6, like every fucking Mardu player. Like every goddamn Mardu player, card draw is just 6. Cost 6, most of it is 4 mana or above. Oh, you can do the ability after damage? That's fucked up. Defensive trigger. Okay. I question this fear of the crackback from the Mardu player. That smacks of not wanting the smoke as much as you should. And I guess the question for you, Emperor, is how much of this is getting the defensive triggers. Maybe a better way to frame this is you have two goofy themes. The first goofy theme is Exalted. The second goofy theme is defensive triggers. And so the question is, are you totally married to both of these triggers? Or do you just want, there's quite a few token decks at my LGS. You know what? Anything in the world to make the token player have a worse day, you're good. Okay, life loss, life loss. Six mana rocks. Okay, token generators. Asarak, Adeline, Andoril, Anim Pakal, Brimaz. Okay, so immediately what I question is that the spectrum of your card quality is anywhere from Billionaire's Bodyguard all the way down to 2-year-old that has not learned how to fight yet. His first hand's unkeepable, so we'll take our freebie. And now our mana's fixed, so that should be fine. Strength testing hammer is pure silliness, but we'll get one exalted thing out. We'll get Ishin out. So it'll be a 4/4 with first strike. Turn 3, that's probably getting through. We Godless Shrine. We'll shock it in. We're not cowards. Strength testing. Craig Boone, Novak Guard. We just swing this again. So 4/4. Oh, no. We're going to swing both. We're going to swing both. We're going to get 4 quest counters onto Craig Boone. Keep going. Get a mana rock. Get this chick out. And then we probably want to keep going for these Craig Boone triggers, because we're going to be up to 8. And now we've kind of played out our entire hand. And as soon as, if and / when we get board wiped, we sit in the corner and we just have a nice long cry. And that is probably what I am most worried about with this deck, is that if we don't have a very good time we don't get off the ground very quickly. We start doing the gimmick very quickly, but we do not kill motherfuckers quickly. And if we don't kill people quickly, in today's world of Commander, not killing people quickly basically guarantees that somebody's going to board wipe at some point. And when that happens, we're going to be hanging out for a really long time. So like Caesar, our card draw engine coming in here, that's going to be great because we can draw 2 every turn. But I think you are a small child in the middle of Toys R Us and you're holding 30 different Transformer toys. And I am here to be your very stern father telling you that you must pick 15. It depends on how strong you want the deck to be, but in general, everything you've picked, hey, it sure is an attack trigger, good buddy. Not all of them are made equally. And in fact, some of them are made so non-equally that you would be better off just drawing cards instead to try to get to the ones that are superior. Like, if you had the choice every game, if you could choose, I would rather draw a Captain's Clause or I would rather draw a Neem Pakal, you would choose a Neem Pakal every single fucking game. And if you say you wouldn't, I don't believe you. Now, if I gave you the choice between drawing a Neem Pakal or drawing Caesar, you might ask a question about that. If I gave you the choice between Caesar and Krenko, you might ask a question about that. There may even be times you want Sky Knight Vanguard because you need a flyer. But there's some stuff that you would basically never choose to pick. You would never choose to draw over something else from the same category. And those are the types of cards that I think you should replace with, now I'm going to draw a card now. Thank you very much. And so I'm with the theme. I think you've built a relatively, hold on. Draw cards, partial type matches. I think you've built a deck that is relatively committed to actually hitting a lot of triggers instead of just I play an Eldrazi with Annihilator and now you die. But I think that this deck is kind of like Two-Face from Batman. I think sometimes it's incredibly spooky, and I think sometimes it is an immensely upstanding citizen. And I don't think you want that. I personally prefer my decks to be very consistent in terms of how strong they feel. And I like there to be enough variance that the games don't resolve the exact same way every time, but I want them to feel like they're roughly on the same page each time I play them. And I think this deck has games that are on vastly different pages. So if that's something you want, hey, more power to you. Go ahead. Enjoy shitting your pants. But I'm telling you right now, I think you'll have a better time. Like, the lowest level is to replace them all with things like Read the Bones or Thrill of Possibility. You know, there's just very, very there's layups for it. There's even some stuff you could do. Now, this is more expensive, so I would not suggest this as an actual, like, now my deck's more reliable because I have card draw. But you could do Archon of Cruelty, because this is an attack trigger, and so this is something you will conceivably double up on. It will help control the board. But overall, I think you're playing Magic as Richard Garfield intended it, and I don't think you should. Or at least not in today's day and age. Like, I think you want to... You gotta make sure that you can play Magic the Gathering. And I think this deck can play Magic the Gathering, but the type of Magic the Gathering it plays is so wildly different from game to game that sometimes it just hurts. And a lot of these lands that say fucking pay 1 to fix your colors, that does hurt. So, like, we can... Like, I think we Bronco just because we need to be attacking, and then we saddle it and play this, and so it goes up to 6/6, and we get to reveal 2. And now we have Exalted. Yeah, like I hated on Exalted a little bit. I think Exalted is one of the best things this deck is doing as a true theme or gimmick. And I think you would feel... And it all goes away with one farewell. And that's really what I'm sticking on, is like you got 35 creatures, 15 of them are worth a damn, and the rest are very cute. And I think that if you get farewelled, you shit your pants, and that's never a spot that I personally want to be in. Oh god, and I think this dungeon shit gotta go. I realize Acererak makes zombies, but 3 mana venture into the dungeon. We gotta, come on, man. What's happening? What's happening that we're doing Ishin aggro and we're spending 3 mana to venture into the dungeon? Just because we've gotten a dart. Like both of these cards. One of them should be Archon of Cruelty. One of them should be Dire Sight. And you will just fully have a better time. Just truly and completely. Oh yeah, you could do Winota. You have a very good mix of humans and non-humans. So I would call this deck silly/spooky. I don't know if I would certainly not call it scary. Maybe the nut draw is scary, but the scariness is just undone by me when I play 1 4-mana sorcery and you have 1 card in hand. And so I think you need to shore this up. You have to, for me, as a personal favor, should any of the 3 considering cards be added? No. I would say Adriana also counts as like, this is a very cute thing. No on Impact Tremors. I think Impulsive Maneuvers is funny as hell. I guess what I would question is, I don't know how the rules work. So for Impulsive Maneuvers, since it's going to trigger twice, if you win 1 and then lose 1, does the losing not overwrite the winning? Like, is this just, I have to win twice in a row, and if I do, I deal quadruple, and if I get anything else, I get nothing? Because that hurts. That does have its place in a meme deck, but if we're trying to really play Magic the Gathering, we gotta do a little bit better than 25% chance to do quadruple and 75% chance to do nada. It is hilarious, but I think then we need to come together and focus up on whether you want to stand on that scary designation that you told me, or if you want to reconsider for silly. Oh shit, Joe Salsa, you are so right. You put her in. If you want to have a reactive trigger for Ishin, this is hot. Yeah, but like right now, Emperor, like impulsive maneuvers, very funny. Not only are you not scaring the hoes, you are not scaring the preschoolers. This is you are jumping out from behind a corner and going boo. That's how scary the deck is. And you can get it scarier, or you can keep it at roughly the power level it's at. But you desperately need to get a little more card draw in, knock this dungeon shit off. You do not need Smothering Tithe. I will allow you to cook with the defensive triggers, but instead of having these like 60 cards that we all want to play, at least get it to like 45 or 50 and have the rest of it be draw to the 45 to 50. Mangara. Mangara would also be okay. This would be another decent I would give you a point for card draw, and it's an okay reactive trigger. So Emperor, I like it. Like this is you've made a fair Ishin deck, which is a thing not many people have the emotional stability to make. And I hate to say this, but it needs to be better. I love this shit like Midnight Crusader Shuttle, and then we're a little bit lost. We're so lost in our own sauce that we don't have ways to guarantee that we keep playing the game as soon as somebody else pushes us over a little. And so for right now, I'm going to call it Minecraft creative mode, because it does seem like as soon as anybody fucks with your base, you do not have... And by fucking with your base, I mean destroying your creatures with instants and sorceries. You do have it if they swing at you. But I think we got to make sure you have it at other points too. Especially with Exalted, because Exalted doesn't do a goddamn thing until you have multiple sources of it. Alright, we're going to move on to Mavanger's deck. Or Mavinger's deck, which is silly. It's a silly theme deck. Maybe find a way to win on theme, but it's not the priority. The deck in one word is books. Bookworm. This is why my pod bullies me. $112 for a Cody deck. Lots of artifacts. Oh my god, it's the local librarians rise up against you. This is the type of shit I like to see. This is years spent in the LGS bulk section trying to pull together the ancient tomes that will allow you to snap them shut on the tip of somebody's penis. 5 mana, draw 2, discard 2, just as Richard Garfield intended. You get to make people play Go Fish? 40 lands is absolutely crazy. Do you even play Cody? Or I feel like playing Cody you just lose. Place to put books. Library of Lang, library, Sylvan library. Ran out of flavor 20 cards ago. Hey, they're in libraries. This is fucking close enough, my friend. This is close enough. No, I don't. The most deserved tutor of anybody's life. A fucking archive trap. Okay. So this is where the real challenge comes in. Because you have succeeded at the research portion of this deck. You have succeeded at the Googling portion of the deck. Everything's a book or somehow related to a library. We're going to go into the play testing, but I think I know what I'm going to find. Scroll of the Masters, Okay, this might be a way we can win. We get to make a 1/1. And we get to put a counter on this thing. We need to keep casting non-creatures. We're gonna mill 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We hit no creatures, so those are just gone forever now. That was a turn 1 bounce land? No, it wasn't, Sharyusu. You didn't see shit. Okay. Fuck this land. We don't need it. We're not casting Cody. So can Volo do anything? No, he can draw cards. So we need to turn books into violence. And so to turn books into violence, we need to talk about your personal theme tolerance. If a book is in the art, is that good enough? Does it need to say library? Does it need to say book? Or can we work with a book in the art? If we can work with a book in the art, we can get somewhere. So Rise and Shine is going in because this is going to turn all of your books into violence, and you can beat them to death with 4 +1/+1 counters. So we're cooking now. We have something to work with. Living Conundrum. We are not cooking, but this is possible. How do I do the art tagger? Where do I put art book? This is good flavor. It is just also useless. Oh, there's 10 cards you want. Okay. What's happening to my internet? Okay. Probably not. Okay. Then we probably just need to... Okay.